we do. Thank you. This is the noon time on Tuesday. Welcome to my world. It's this is the 13th of November. And I thought I'd take a minute. We've had a lot of questions in the room this morning. Sometimes it gets a little hectic in there. Everybody's trying to trade and we're using different markets and different things are coming up. But I thought I'd take a second to go over a few things. We had some really nice trades this morning on either one of these charts. I have them both up because I refer to both of them. My preference is to trade off of this 519, but some people find it easier to use colors and different signals that are on other things. So I'm going to go back and look earlier this morning. There were some very nice trades available that came right off of this green zone about 9:20, and even before that you could have captured a nice ride from the ice down. Once it clears this magnet, I would be tightening up stops with the expectation you had this green band down here until it developed its second one. But I would certainly be the initial target for me would have been from 47.05 to 46.85. So that would have put some ticks in the bank. And then when it bounced off of this whole thing, most people I think would be a little more comfortable. You see a tremendous amount of volume yesterday right around in here, and settlement is a major street. So if you get in right at settlement or a tick or two above and then continue it on following all this, you can take one of these trades and leave them on. I don't like the up and down in here. I'm just having learned to sit through that. It takes a lot of patience to do that, so we all need to practice peeing a whole lot more. Get picky about the entry. Have a lot of patience with your management in order to get paid. When Apex puts up this second, this is a green E entry right here, this is a very strong uptrend signal. The trend has definitely changed from yesterday's short to today's long, and it happened right here at this magnet. As you can see, this is the second time that crude oil hit this mega magnet right here at 46.70 and came up off of it. So that is a huge bouncing place right there. You can take this entry with the expectation that it will not go back through here, or if it does, very far, because the low of the day is right below it. And an entry here, an aggressive entry here, is at this magnet or at the top of the P, and I think you'll find up here on the chart with the trend catcher that trend catcher put a confirmed entry at the top of that P. It waits till the next bar over, so at 46.95. This bar right here, we know that when it gets to settlement, it is likely to back off a little bit. But as long as this trend continues, which it's a little easier to read, I think, on this chart with this flip. You get too many things on one chart and pretty soon you can't separate what you need to. but certainly to continue this up to this next big magnet right here. And once it pushed through that big magnet, which is also a swing high, the previous swing high, you could, my tendency is to get out right here because I don't like torturing myself with this bunch of baloney here. You know, you can always get back on the bus. And then if you take it again from either the top of this P, once it's put in 3 bars in a row, all topping right here, it's going to take some volume to get through there. But once Apex puts up this E, then you can take it on up to the high up here, which it had already, you already knew this high was right here because it happened earlier in the morning. So there have been some really nice trades. And then we got up here, it went on and on and on. And this deviation mountain is really, really nice because it just went right on up. And then once it started down the other side, and as you can see, the RSI right here started its little point down. So these are all, everybody has to look at all this stuff and find the ones that make the most sense to you and the easiest for you to read, and don't get in your way. But if you will learn the rules, then you can, as long as you follow those rules, you'll be fine. And you will find that when you break the rules, doesn't work out quite as well as you planned. So today we've had a lot of questions about how you get this time and sales up. So let me pull this over here and I'll show you. This file right here has just all kinds of stuff in here. New, down here at the bottom, is time and sales. So you can click on that time and sales, and once you get time and sales, it will not have an market in it, an instrument. You have to right click, and from your instrument list put what you want in there. And once you've done that, right click it again and go to properties. Properties right here. You can change all these colors if you want to, but I think all that does is confuse you more. But the size filter, it defaults to 1. I would change that because you don't need to see every 1 contract trade on the planet Earth coming through there. A 1 contract trade, a 2 contract, that stuff is not going to move the market. You want to know the bigger orders that are going to move the market. So I have mine set to 5. If you trade other markets, you will need to do what's appropriate to that. For example, if you use ES, some people like to trade that. I personally hate it, but you know, it's a personal thing. But it's not unusual to see blocks of 80 to 125 contracts coming through. So needless to say, your little onesies and twosies don't really matter. And then I have the block alert on crude oil set to 20. Some people like it at 25, but if you get it too much bigger than that, you're not going to get the orders that come through. Oh, whoops, I should have just gotten out of that. You're not going to get the orders that come through that are sometimes computer generated, or institutional traders where they're sitting there with their finger on the button and they've got it defaulted to 5 contracts, and they just hit that over and over and over and over until they have their 50 or 60 position in that they had anticipated taking. They just don't stick it all in there at once. So let's see. Anything else? I don't see too much else. Bonds sure fell out of bed for a little while. See what happens to them. And the Canadian dollar has gone up this morning. Very interesting, and so is gold. I would have thought maybe the Aussie dollar would go up a little more with gold, but it hasn't yet. And then our friend the VIX is trading right now at 1651, and that is certainly down from these 30s and 26s and 7s we had a couple of weeks ago. So with that, that's about all I see. I don't see anything else too exciting. Sometimes when we've had these nice trends in the morning and we've gotten nice trades off of them in the afternoon, I would not be looking for so many nice easy ones, because in the morning when we've had nice trends, in the afternoon that bus driver seems to, I don't know if he has a couple of drinks with lunch or what, but he's not driving very straight. So expect a little chop in the afternoon. And it's vice versa. When we don't have really good trades in the morning, don't kill yourself just trying to force a good trade when they're just flat not there. They'll come at lunch. Just patience. Patience. Remember those P's. So this has been my view from my world at Apex Land, brought to you by Apex Investing. Thanks.